as he reined his horse to a halt. Down the hill, he saw a group of about 15 or 20 men on horseback. Several of the riders were cutting a fat steer out of the herd, while the others sat in their saddles, watching. Cal was trying to decide whether he should ride down and brace the men alone, or hightail it back to the ranch house and get some help. He didn't particularly like the odds of 20 to 1, but he knew if he took the time to go back for backup, the men might be gone by the time they got back here. His decision was made for him when one of the rustlers looked up and saw him sitting on the ridge. He leaned over and spoke to a tall man wearing a black frock coat, who turned to stare at Cal. "Heck," Cal mumbled to his horse. "In for a penny, in for a pound, as they say." He spurred his bronc down the hill and rode up to the group. "Howdy, gents," he said, speaking to the tall man who appeared to be in charge. Up close, the galoot was even stranger looking than he had been from a distance. He appeared to be over 6.5 feet tall, was skinny to the point of being gaunt, and had a scraggly goatee covering his lips and chin. His eyes had a wild, haunted look, as if there was nothing behind them, and he was dressed all in black, from his coat and vest to his pants and boots. His boiled shirt was the only spot of lightness about him. As he turned in the saddle, Cal could see he wore a Colt on each hip, and a Henry Yellow Boy rifle was resting across his thighs. All in all, he reminded Cal of the man named Ichabod Crane in the story The Legend of Sleepy Hollow Miss Sally had read to him when he was taking his schooling. "You men are aware you're trespassing on private property, aren't you?" Cal asked, when he got no response to his greeting. "What is your name, boy?" the man in black asked. "My name's Cal. What's yours?" Lazarus Cain," the man answered, acting as if the name should mean something to Cal. It didn't. "Have you been saved, Cal?" Lazarus asked. Cal snorted. The man's eyes didn't lie. He was crazy. "Saved from what?" Cal asked, his eyebrows raised. "Why, from hell and damnation, of course." "What's all this got to do with the fact that you men are stealing my boss's cattle?" "I don't like this young pup calling me a thief, boss," a young Mexican said, kicking his horse to ride up in front of Cal. He put his hand on his pistol butt and added, "Why don't I just kill him?" Lazarus turned his head to look at Cal, his eyebrows raised, as if waiting to see how Cal would handle the challenge. "Any time you think you're ready, cabron," Cal said, easing the barrel of the express gun toward the Mexican. Cabron being about the worst thing a Mexican could be called, the man went for his pistol. Cal let the hammer down on his shotgun, firing from the hip, and splattered the Mexican all over the men behind him, blowing him out of the saddle to land in several pieces on the ground. As the explosion echoed across the hilly landscape and the horses jumped and crow-hopped at the noise, Cal pulled the barrel around until it pointed at Lazarus. "We got you outnumbered 20 to 1, boy," Lazarus said, staring at Cal with an appraising stare. Cal inclined his head toward the body on the ground. 19 to 1 now, Mr. Cain. And if in any more your men get itchy trigger fingers, you'll be the next one I kill." "You're pretty brave, sitting behind that shotgun, boy." Cal showed his teeth, but he wasn't smiling. "Like Mr. Colt said, God created all men equal. Only this here express gun makes some more equal than others." He inclined his head. "Now, I'd suggest you gentlemen ride on out of here, leaving the beeves you cut out of the herd behind." As he finished speaking, Cal saw out of the corner of his eye a man start to raise his pistol. He swiveled in his saddle and fired the second barrel of the greener.